Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of SpecTalk. Today's is no fooling around. You spoke, we listened. By popular demand, today's episode is all about diving into importing Word docs into SpecLink. Joining me as always is the incomparable Alex Bear. Alex, I already know you're doing good, but let's just comment on how great you look today with your new SpecTalk t-shirt.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Oh, of course. As always, Alex and I would love to invite you to connect with us on LinkedIn. Feel free to drop us a connection request, and we'll be happy to connect with you on LinkedIn. A couple of reminders of things that are coming up in a couple of weeks from now. The CSI National Conference is going on in Cleveland. I will be presenting with Amy Baker on social media for architects and spec writers. So if you're around Thursday morning at 9:15, we'll be doing that presentation. We'd love to see you in the audience there, of course. Now, if social media is not quite your thing, we have a couple other RIB gentlemen that will be presenting. Nish Patel and AK Dash will be talking about collaborative intelligence for achieving the 6 C's in specs. Of course, the two RIB groups are presenting on the same day at the same time. So pick your favorite topic and definitely stop by and say hi to us. And we got a couple of questions after last week's Spec Talk. I do want to remind everybody that they are all of the Spec Talks are recorded and uploaded, so you can circle back and watch it again, and pause it, enjoy it, sort of follow along, and never have to miss a moment. So that link on the screen there is where you can find those recordings. Now, today we are going to be talking about a few big bullet points, but we're going to dive into all kinds of corners of this. So obviously we're going to cover the overall importing process. We're going to talk about the steps that you need to take to prepare your Word documents before importing them into SpecLink. And if there's, we're going to talk about any post-import formatting that you may have to do. Now, joining us today are Alex Fulton and Matt Phillips, who will be walking us through the full process from prepping the documents to, like I said, formatting them once they're in SpecLink. We'll also demonstrate the newest update to SpecLink and how it lets you bring in more Word documents per import than it used to in the previous version. So we're really excited to share that with you. And obviously, we just want to make the process faster and smoother as SpecLink just keeps moving in that direction. So if you've ever wondered how to move your legacy specs over out of Word and into SpecLink, today's episode is absolutely the one you want. Matt, Alex, welcome to SpecTalk.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. This is going to be, I know we just cracked 200 people. There's over 200 people here hanging out. And so this is your, I'm going to do a quick poll question with the audience. And then this is your notice that you guys are going to be going up soon. So we are going to start with this. How have you ever imported a Word document into SpecLink? Just want to get a sense of the audience here. Who's really using this feature, who is not, who didn't even know it was possible. We got a few people now that weren't even sure that you could do that. So I think we are going to really cover a lot of excellent bases with the information today. We'll just let a few more of these trickle in a little bit.
Full props to the participation. Those votes came in quick.
Yeah, these are great. So we are the majority, we got a good over 70% are using it often or once or twice. About a quarter of you are planning to, and 5% didn't even know we could. So Matt and Alex Fulton, with that information, I'd love for you guys to move forward and show us the magic of importing into SpecLink from Word.
All right, absolutely. And we're going to have Alex start off with some of the basics. And so, Alex, you're going to go ahead and pull that section up. Just as a primer, as a starting point, and you may be familiar with the content that we have in SpecLink Cloud already. And give a second for Alex to get that section up and running. With the master content that we have in SpecLink Cloud, and you may notice as you scroll through a section, you'll see not only the static text, the black text that's there, but you'll see different colored text. You have blue text, green items, you'll see some purple, and possibly some other colors. And that's the automated or enhanced text features that we have within the system. And the biggest question when it comes to importing documents from Word into SpecLink Cloud is, well, there's two questions: why, and how can I get them to look like a SpecLink Cloud section? And that's what this session is for. The why would be, you got a document in Word, and now you got your SpecLink platform, and you want the documents to work together. So you want a better QA experience when you get those documents into SpecLink Cloud and you work from one project to another. You can reuse what you've imported before. So you don't have to import on every single project from Word. You can reuse, and that increases your return on investment, increases the QA accuracy of your project on a project by project basis. And you get to use, you can use the master content that comes with SpecLink, and you get to use your own content that you had in Word. Now you can bring it into the SpecLink Cloud platform. Dory did mention you can import many documents at once, and that's up from the experienced users who are on the call who knew where the days when you could only do one document at a time. Now you can import up to 20 at a time. And that gives you an increase with the pre-processing of the Word document or prepping beforehand that you have to do, or even less now. And then the post-import cleanup, where you could say it might have taken you potentially 30 minutes to do a Word document, get it SpecLink ready. Now you got 10 minutes or less. So quite a few performance improvements there. And so all of the pre-processing is pretty much you're saving 33 to 85% in time getting the document into SpecLink Cloud itself. So you have a good mix of not only getting your document in the SpecLink Cloud, but getting it to automatically show this enhanced text where it's appropriate. And so with that said, I'd like to turn it over to Alex to run you through the basics.
Yeah, Alex, we just got one quick question. Is it? Sorry, is there a way you can make the text on the screen larger? I don't know what the zoom in capabilities before you start to lose information on the screen, but just got that question in. If there's anything we can do there, that would be helpful.
See what happens here. I need to make sure the screen catches up.
Yeah. But obviously you don't want to do it so much. Anything is better. I just don't want to zoom so much that we lose lose information. But all right.
There we go.
Let's yeah, back to you.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, since there's about a quarter of people here that either are planning to or didn't even know we could import, I'm going to kind of kick us off with a overview of the import process. Going to keep it very, very high level, show you guys how to actually bring in a document and without too many settings, and then we can kind of get into the settings from there. So overall, the process to bring in a document, once you're actually in your project, and you can see I've got my Atlanta skating rink here, you come over to this new button in the top corner, our big red button, and then we have import from Word. Now we have a couple ways to import. You can import from other projects. So and this is exactly what Matt was talking about, of that return on investment, that ease of access once it's actually imported, how you don't have to do it every time. Because once you've imported a section, if you want to use that in other projects, you can import it from other projects, or you can import it directly to your master and it's there ready to go. But the one that we are looking at is import from Word for right now. And there's a button here that says specification section. So I'm going to click on this, and then we've got our big import menu that pops up here. And you can see there's a lot of different settings here, but I'm going to leave these mostly on the default options for now. So we've got auto selecting all the paragraphs. The author is going to be user, that's fine. Capitalization, how it's going to do it. And then we have the option of express or review. I'm going to leave it on review just to keep it easy. But right here, you can see that addition of 20 files at a time, but we are going to keep it nice and easy with just one at a time for now. So I'm going to pull in, let's pull in this one. Just going to drag and drop a file right there. We can see we've got, and it pulls up our next menu here, test, and it automatically pulls the section ID, and it automatically pulls the section title. Now I'm going to backspace there, just to clean this up a little bit, and then hit import. And there it is, import complete. It shows a quick review in the corner of what was imported. Now this makes a lot more sense when you are doing 20 files at a time and you want to review everything that went in. And then there it is. So our section shows up right here in the in SpecLink Cloud. It'll actually open up the folder in the subdivision folder, and now this is just a conductors and cables section. It's a pretty rough section. I didn't want to spend too much time with it because once again, I didn't do anything with the settings. So once we actually get into those settings in the enhanced text that we were indicating earlier with all the different color coding, you'll be able to see a lot more of what the import process can do. But even right here, without any of that automation on, you can see a section came in with all of the, with the format already set up. You can scroll through and all of the text is in, well, effectively it's in SpecLink Cloud the way you'd expect it to be. And then from here, you can start doing whatever you want to do, SpecLinkify it, add your own elements, add in new things, activate and deactivate paragraphs. Really kind of the spec is your oyster, I'll say. But for now, I'm going to close that down because I think I'm going to kick it back over to Matt, because it's a good idea that we have an idea of, it's a good idea that we have a concept of what these settings actually do, because you're going to want to use them. You're muted, Matt.
All right, thank you. So absolutely. So as you take a look in SpecLink Cloud and you see all the options that are available for formatting text, and if you look over on the left-hand side where you can auto tag all paragraphs, you have the ability to add outline or short form tags as part of the import. So you don't have to do that post-import. And the large area of conversion is in the middle where you convert to enhanced text. And so you can turn on the conversion of choices. So if your Word document has a series of choices in the text, it will convert to a blue pop-up choice automatically on the import process. And again, you can imagine if you had 50 choices in your Word document, you don't want to have to create 50 choices in SpecLink after you import the document. This option here will turn that on for you. And that's a running theme for the rest of the items. If you have global terms coded properly in the Word document, they'll convert to the enhanced text type of a global term. Now in project notes, that's a special item. Everybody's got notes in their Word document. They're usually indicated by a different color or a different style than the regular paragraph text use. And by turning on the addition of project notes, when you import, those will convert those portions of text to a note in SpecLink Cloud that's separate from the SpecLink paragraphs. So it's a huge feature there.
And that's part of the new release too, right? Because we used to have to pre-code and actually type in lines of asterisks above and below each note, but with the new release, it is automatically recognizing certain styles.
You're absolutely correct. So there's a list of about 10 styles that are commonly used in Word documents for specification sections as it applies to notes. And if your Word documents already use that style, you don't need to do anything now. Alex mentioned before you had to do some asterisks. You don't have to do that now. If you still want to do asterisks, you can. It's still supported. Once that's done, this conversion will be automatic. So it's a huge time saver to have it recognized by style. The next item down is reference standards. So you have reference standards in the specification section and in every project. SpecLink Cloud has a phenomenal reference standard manager with a lot of master reference standards already included. You can add your own to the reference standards manager. If you have a reference standard in the Word document and you import it, you can have those convert to the automated version of the reference standard using the drawing from your reference standard library. Again, another huge time saver for the automation to kick in here. And then
we usually for the very beginning of an import process too, if you're bringing in like 50 sections, 100 sections, however, we will usually recommend people add in some of their most common reference standards into our database ahead of time, just to save that additional time down the line. Because once it's imported, you can't, well, you can obviously add the reference standards in later on, but if they're already in the database, they will get recognized during the import and save you additional time down the line.
Absolutely. Good point there, Alex. And the next item down is a unit of measurement. So the purpose of specifying is you want to tell the contractor how big something has to be, 1 inch by 1 inch or whatever the case might be. And the units of measurement, when this is selected, there's about 20 standard units of measurements that we have set up in the system. So if you have 1 foot, 1 inch, as a case might be in your Word document, you don't have to pre-code it at all for it to convert to a unit of measurement and take on that automated feature within SpecLink Cloud.
Yeah, and with just these selections here, the whole import process changed from what we effectively had just plain text on that sample that I showed. These selections here, the section is going to look significantly different already, just from recognizing all of those built-in elements.
Yeah, and we'll have Alex.
I do have a question about is there a way to show it, the sort of file that we're actually importing?
Yes, I will be showing, I'll show that after we finished on the settings.
Oh, great. Okay.
Good call.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, and Alex will show that here in a quick minute. Now you can imagine when you import a document one at a time and you want to set the author, maybe your company is XYZ company. So you don't want the author to say user, you want it to say the name or the abbreviation of your company. Now, if you're going to import 20 documents at a time, you don't want to have to change that 20 times. So you can set that author field here and it will apply to all the documents that you're importing. So they all take on the same author to identify sections for your company as opposed to sections that might be in the master. And then Alex did highlight earlier the capitalization for your section names if you want to have all uppercase, title case, or use whatever the Word document happens to use to identify the spec section itself by title. So some time-saving tips to help get your documents looking the way that you want them to. And so with that said, I'll let Alex go ahead and bring in a document that already has items ready to convert to enhanced text.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start by, I'll just quickly show the file itself, just as requested. Just a quick peek of what that looks like. So here is a traffic control section. And you can see it looks very similar to most sections that people would have in Word. Ooh, and let me make sure that no one has to ask. Let me zoom in. Looks like most sections you would have. Scroll through, you can see we've got all these lines, but there's already some elements that we've touched and done in here to make sure that it comes in using a lot of the SpecLink Cloud sections, but we'll highlight that in just a minute. But this is going to be the section that we bring in. So we're gonna go, once again, open up my File Explorer in a separate window and drag in the section. So it'll, once again, go to the review files. I can open this up and you can see it's automatically pulling the traffic control, it's giving us a section ID, and there's the SpecTalk author because we're on SpecTalk, so that's who's importing it today.
Alex, while we're here, there was a question that came through about SpecLink automatically recognizing the section that it's in versus do we have the option to tell it where to be saved?
Yes, absolutely. Great question by whoever. But we have the section ID automatically gets pulled from the document itself, and then what SpecLink Cloud will do, it will see the folder and tie it together. Say, oh, I'm seeing 32, so it's division 32. I'm seeing 17, so it's going to go into 3100s, and then from there, it'll filter it in and put it in the right spot. But we do have, as long as you do review files, if you do the express import, it will automatically put it where it thinks it belongs. But if you do review files, you'll be able to actually click right here and change folder. So if I wanted it to be in product requirements for some reason, I can select that and send it there.
Excellent.
Yes, and in any of these fields, the other three fields are editable. So if you wanted to make an adjustment to the section ID, the author, the section title, you can definitely do that.
Alex, is there the question coming? Is there a particular way to code a global term?
Absolutely. Well, we will get to those in a moment. So first I'm going to import so we can see what it looks like once it's in, and then we'll actually talk about what we have to do to the Word documents themselves to make it so as it came in, it looks as good as it can. So here we go. Once again, imported successfully. I can review if I want to, but once again, it's only one document. So, and it'll open up our folder, show us exactly where it is. So we'll pop this open.
Excellent. So yeah, we are getting an unbelievable amount of questions that are coming in today. And I think a lot of them, I think Alex has I don't know Alex's exact sort of yellow brick road he's taken through the presentation today, but I know a lot of the talking points. So I think Alex is going to get to a lot of those questions. So if we're not getting back to your answers as quick as we usually do, it's because I think it's all coming up.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you most of those questions I've heard them 100 times in my head already, and they all have to do with having the Word document up.
And that's just from me asking you the questions 100 times. So yeah, that's.
So here we go. So here's our traffic control section brought in. Now you can see we've got the reference standards are green, and they've got our reference standard icon there. So these are what get pulled directly from what's already in the document. So if I scroll down here, I'm just going to jump to the bottom. You can see in this text, we had listed different reference standards. SpecLink Cloud recognized those and applied them to our reference standard area. And not only did it just apply those, it went through the full process of automation. So if I open up the links and report column, you're going to see that all of these have a link built into them already to link to their associated paragraphs, and they all have the associated report tag built in. So all of that automation happened right in the background during the import process, which is fantastic. So that's just the reference standards alone, which huge time saver right there. But as we scroll down, you're going to see even more things. So we're going to see a project note that appeared over here. So we can see note style being used. We can see a choice field right here. So I can actually toggle different choice options. We see right here, we have units of measure got automatically converted. We have a little ruler next to them. And then here are some global terms as well. So you can see this is the Atlanta skating rink, and based on the project details that I've already put in, it automatically populated Atlanta skating rink and Georgia. So this global term is the project state. This global term is the project title. And then we have another one that refers to the owner. But all of this was automatically done right away instead of bringing in raw text, having to go to the document manager, going to choices, building your own choice field, going to global terms, dragging in each of your global terms. So a lot of that is a huge time saver because, and in all honesty, one of the, ooh, my camera. There I am. Okay. In all honesty, one of the big things that I talk about a lot is post-import. And after all of the changes and all of the enhancements we've added, there's really not too many post-import things you have to do anymore, right, Matt?
That is correct. The remaining item, and this is a primer coming up for the next release about 3 months down the road, is the main thing left is to add your own report tags to the appropriate paragraphs, such as your submittal tags under the submittals article. That isn't part of the import at this point in time, but it is coming. So that will even decrease the amount of post-import cleanup and prep work that you need to do for your own user sections.
Geez, just less and less need for any kind of post-import trainings or anything like that.
That's the goal, right? Yeah, let's get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it takes care of all of it for me, then heck, we're just doing SpecLink training at that point. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and delete this section, mostly because I'm going to bring it in again. But let's, I think it's time that we start probably attacking some of these questions that are getting brought up, I'm sure. So let's actually open up our.
Do you want us to handpick some questions, or do you want to take a quick peek, Alex, and see if which ones you want to answer?
Ooh, I'll let you throw them my way, but I'll start by at least showing the document and quickly hitting a couple of points, and then you can throw some questions as we go.
Deal.
So here is a traffic control section. Now, if I scroll through here, you can see that we've got our related requirements here. We've got, now I've made a couple of changes to this one just to show how some changes would go. But down here we have a note set up. A little further down, we can see the way that a lot of Word documents that I've seen set up before select one of the following: green signs, go signs, green or go signs. This is how I see a lot of Word documents set up when you don't have a choice option, so that when you're actually writing your spec, you would end up deleting deleting the ones you don't need, and then deleting the select the other. So I'll show you guys how to actually code that correctly. And we also have some things already coded in here as well. So I guess a good place to start would be really the some of the choice fields. I think those are the best ones. So
Right.
overall, I'll start right here.
Alex, if you don't mind, if I can chime in real quick.
Absolutely.
As Alex goes through this and shows you the items for the choice fields, this is a convention in the industry where, most of the times when you find a spec section in Word from anywhere on the web, somebody's got it stored on their network, and you open it up, the optional items, such as under 2.02 manual devices, the optional text is usually going to be separated by a single series of brackets. It's been that way for years and years and years. Odds are most of the Word documents that you use for specifications still use that convention. And so when your Word documents already have those brackets, you don't need to do anything for those to be converted to choice fields in SpecLink Cloud on import. That will happen automatically. And so many of the conventions that you would see in a normal Word document are going to be recognized already. So with that, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, the fact that we are building the import process based on the standard conventions is huge. But for the people who aren't already set up for that, I'll use this one as an example. So this is clearly, we've got green signs, go signs, green or go. So instead of having multiple paragraphs, I know that green and go are going to be our options. So I can actually just highlight these, delete these, and I'll make this no longer italicized. And now I'm just going to use the brackets. So I'll make green an option, and I'll make go an option. So now if I did just that, I would have green and then go as the two options. But this would actually come in as, I'm going to show you really quick. Oh, never mind, I already closed it. This would actually come as an either or option. So I would pick green or I would pick go. It can't be both. But the way this was set up is it was green or go. So all I have to do is add a quick bracket there with the word or in it. And now this is going to be a multiple choice option. So I will be able to select both green and go at the same time with a checklist, and or will be the separator. Comparing that to the way that red, yellow, green, and fill in the blank is set up, this is another multiple choice list, except and will be the separator. So if I select yellow, green as my options, it'll say yellow and green. Up here, if I select both green and go, it'll say green or go. So you can select whether it is an and or an or. So it is really just that easy, putting things into the brackets, whether it is the options, whether it is the and or the or. And you can also add none as an option and fill in the blanks as options, which, yeah, it ends up kind of covering all of the bases of different choices. Do you have anything else that you want to throw in on choices, Matt?
No, that is the big thing right there, is the fact that you can get the choices automatically. And if you want to be specific as to have a single select or a multiple select, so a single select would be such as paragraph C under automatic devices. The multi-select would be with the or the and sample that Alex just gave you. So you can definitely fine tune how you want your choices to not only look, but how they behave in SpecLink Cloud.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I did want to make sure that I hit choices first, but Alex and Dory, you guys are getting flooded with questions there. I feel like we should throw at least one to you guys first. We don't
I got an easy one. I got a good one that came in from Steve. Steve's always asking the good questions.
Thank you, Steve.
Is there like a document or a cheat sheet that they can reference or have access to that helps them understand when to use a square bracket, when to put and, when to how to format it ahead of time?
Steve, you're already ahead of the game, even just asking that. So it is actually an article that I have built in our guide. All you have to do is click this question mark in the top corner. It'll take you to our guide database. I harp on that all the time, but I've actually already got the article in question open here. So there's an article called Preparing a Word Document for Import. And this is a very, very in-depth article. So you can see it's got essentials. It's got best practices. It's got adding coded fields, using formatting, paragraph marks, issues, all sorts of elements here. So I can actually click on adding coded fields. It'll jump down here. And now this is the way that it used to need with the asterisks and everything like that. But for the most part, all of this still works. Now you can scroll through and see which of these options you want to use. So are we talking about choice fields? Do you want to fill in the blank? Here's how you set it up. Here's some notes. Multiple choice. Here it is. Here's some notes. So it is set up like that for every type of enhanced text that we have as you go through it and work it out. So great question by Steve. I did want to make sure that I highlighted the existence of this article a few times.
Another question that came up earlier that I tried to answer in the comments, but you guys have control of the screen, so I'll let you do it. If you import the same section twice, what happens?
Ooh, good question. I
can do that.
Yeah, I can demonstrate it later, but
Okay.
Matt, go ahead and explain if you want.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. If you import a document like you saw Alex do a little while ago, and under the author field, he had SpecTalk. If you import the same document again, you can't have the same section ID and author name, but you can add a 1 to the end of SpecTalk, so it's now SpecTalk 1. And now you can have the exact same document in SpecLink Cloud twice. And you can do that as many times as you want. You could have 10 different versions. Most users, if they have more than one, it's because they might have project work they do in 3 different states. So they have a section for California, one for Florida, one for Georgia. Definitely you can do that. And the easiest way to do that and to retain the original section ID is just to add a number to the end of the author field.
All right. Got another statement that came in from David, who is a longtime SpecLink user, saying it's best to delete headers and footers from the Word. Is it best to delete headers and footers from the Word doc prior to importing? That's a great question.
Great question. Headers and footers, at this time, headers and footers do not get imported either way. Now, I will usually, if you see there's nothing here, I usually delete them during import testing myself. That is just because I know that they don't come in. Oh, I actually left the footer into this one. I usually delete them during import testing and when I'm working with different customers and their specific sections during trainings, just to make sure it's one less thing that the import process needs to look at. Let's keep it as easy and streamlined as possible. So I usually will delete them, but SpecLink Cloud, that's more of me being extra cautious. SpecLink Cloud won't import it regardless and has no problems with header and footer in there.
All right. All right.
What about, okay, we have another question as well. What about if you do import a section, if there is a duplicate section though, if you keep the acronym the same, if you keep everything the same, will it overwrite the sort of previous version or how would that work?
It will not overwrite the version. It just won't let you do it. So you have to set the uniqueness of it, and then you can have the 2 different versions. So, but it's not going to arbitrarily remove one just to make room for another.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
And what about as far as, I'm sorry, Matt, did you have more there? And then another question has come in about is this imported section able to be added automatically to the table of contents?
Great question.
So when you do add a section, will it?
That's one that I personally I would love if it could automatically be added, but that is, I feel like there's still a lot of work to be done on that to be able to have it put into the table of contents. You can definitely
now
add
we're talking about
imported
there's
sections
2
to
ways
it.
to skin
It
a
just
cat
isn't
there, right?
automatic.
So you have the table of contents section, but you do also have the table of contents report from the print menu. So that one, I believe it will.
Yes, it will. So, and Alex is correct that it does not add it to the section table of contents. It will add it to the automatic table of contents on the print menu. Absolutely.
Right. Another question that came in from Michael is when I import, the text is all capitalized. How do I avoid this?
Ooh, good
Yeah,
question.
Are you referring to all text and all paragraphs is all capitalized?
I think so.
Yeah, if that's the case, then the text is likely coming in all at the same level paragraph, like all coming in at all level 1 and 2. In that case, I would encourage the user to go ahead and reach out to support for a quick primer on how to resolve that. Usually it's because the Word document itself uses the exact same style for all paragraphs. And so on the import, it sees one style, so it applies one style after import. As long as the paragraphs have a unique style structure for your articles, your part 1 and 2, your articles, and you get down to your subparagraphs A1 down the line, as long as they're unique, and Alex has a perfect sample up there, exactly. As long as they're unique, then you should get it into the different levels and the correct capitalization for the text. So I do see that when a Word document, uses, let's say the entire document is set up in a normal style, which is Word's default. And there are ways that we have, and we actually have instructions in the guide that Alex had up a little while ago on prepping a Word document on how to change the styles on an entire Word document to get it to come into SpecLink Cloud at the correct case at the correct level. Great question. Thank you.
And I want to acknowledge Elaine was just in the comments also asking us to remind people about the formatting. So thank you, Elaine, for that. Nudge as always. Sarah's got an unbelievable question here. I'm curious to know this. Is there any formatting you can do to the Word document to bring it in as non-printing? Or does that all have to happen in SpecLink?
Ooh, if it is non-printing, so the reason that a paragraph ends up as non-printing is because of the report tag that is applied to it, or the tag that's applied to it. So Matt mentioned earlier that being able to bring in tags is something that is coming down the pipeline. So that is coming, but as it currently stands, no.
Excellent, thank you.
So here's that format painter part that we were referring to right here. So you can actually take these styles and make sure you can apply those differences. We actually have in this area as well, we actually have a format painter styles document at the bottom of this article that has these styles, these exact ones, CSI level 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 8, so that you can actually take those styles and copy them over to your sections. So you can use the styles directly and make sure they're all coming in at the same level.
Hey, Alex and Matt, Nish here. I'm seeing a lot of comments around just the single select and multi-select choices. I think you did walk through the or and, but just to help folks understand, SpecLink helps you in another way, which is even if you get the wrong type in, you can just switch it with a click of a button within SpecLink. So you can go and sort of edit choices and change it from single select to multi-select. So whenever you do that, Alex and Matt, if you could show that, that would be a lifesaver.
Oh, absolutely. Good call out.
Yep. And the other thing that I'm seeing are questions around reference standards. So Alex and Matt, if you can show how the intelligent reference standards feature works, which is even if you don't have a reference standards article, how does it reconcile that? And if you have one, how does it automatically create links? That would be awesome. I've seen a lot of comments around that. But over to the both of you.
You know, great point, Nish. We gotta get focused back on what we were doing in the document after all. We want to make sure we took some questions, of course.
All right.
So with reference standards, that one is one that we can do next. So we've talked about choice fields, and I'll show a little example between the single select or multi-select once we get that imported. But let's take a look at reference standards. So the way that reference standards can be set up is as easy as just putting in your reference standard into the section. It is right here, so you can see down here. Additionally, follow the standard specification, and I've laid out all of the elements of the reference standard. So that ANSI 117, down here we can see, manual for traffic control devices, the FHW MUTCD 2009 edition. So I'm just typing in the reference standards exactly the way that I would in a section. And as long as those reference standards are in the SpecLink Cloud database, they automatically get recognized. There's no formatting that you need to do. There's no special element that you need to set up for it. The only thing with reference standards that you would need is just to pick where they're going to appear. So you can see right here, I don't actually have a reference standard article here. So it will follow an intelligent process to automatically put reference standards in there. But if I know that I want the reference standards after related requirements, I can just come here and I can just type reference standards. Now I have that reference standards article, and that is where all of the reference standards that are already in this article will automatically fill into. So that's really all you need to do to set up reference standards. All the linking and all the tagging and all the intelligence that happens afterwards, that's all happens in the background and nothing that any of the users have to do. So I guess that's, go ahead.
Yeah, I can give let me, if I may, I'll go ahead and grab the screen for a quick minute and go into a little bit of detail.
Absolutely.
And let me see. There we go. There's my SpecLink Cloud. So I'm going to grab a section at random. And what I'm about to show you, you can do this in a master section. You can do it in a user section. And I'm assuming everyone can still hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, got a strange pop-up on my screen. All right, so here, you do have the reference standards article. Well, let's say if you wanted to add another reference standard to this section. So I come into my manager, I've got some user added reference standard, then I have all the master reference standards. So I can take this reference standard here, and you can see it's not used currently, and I can drag it to any paragraph where I want it mentioned. It'll add it here in the paragraph as a segment, and then it will also add the full paragraph under reference standards in alphanumeric order, give it the RS tag, and put in the link automatically for you. And so as long as you've got it in your database, everybody's got the same masters, you can add your own users, which is going to be specific from one company to the next. And that's how the process works when you do this manually. You can do this, like I said, any master section, any user section, you can do this post-import. But Alex is demonstrating the reference standards on the import from Word, that where you have this segment in a paragraph and the import comes in, all of this automation happens automatically for you. It converts the segment in the paragraph, it adds the full paragraph under reference standards, gives it the link and the tag, and it does that for however many reference standards are in your Word document. And if you happen to have a reference standard in your Word document that is not already in your reference standards library, it'll come in as plain text, and you can see that. And so that's where Alex mentioned early in the webinar that if you know you have some reference standards that you need to add to the database, go ahead and add them in, then start importing your Word documents, and all this manual drag in that you do here would be done automatically for you on the import from Word.
It's excellent. There's a couple of things I want to do here, guys. There's one excellent question that came through, and I want to do another poll question as well. So I'm going to launch our next poll question. And the question is, what's your biggest challenge with importing Word docs? So we'll see. We've seen some of the examples now of what it takes to get a Word file imported. And while we're doing that, guys, I'm going to share a question that Robert asked. That our hardware consultant sends us spec section 087100, which includes words and tables. The word comes across, but the tables get scrambled. Is there a fix for this?
I'll go ahead and take that question because that could be a complex situation. If it's a simple table in Word, you got an 8x8 table in Word, and it's using simple formatting, and none of the cells have been split or joined, and you import that document into SpecLink Cloud, it should come in and it'll be fine. Usually the issue comes in is if the table is using complex editing aspects in the table, or there's been a lot of splits and joins of some of the cells at some point in time, and you bring that in, and SpecLink can't quite handle the complex tables that your Word allows users to set up. And so that's where you're going to see that situation. And so trying to import just a simple table would usually help alleviate that situation, or creating a table post-import that is going to follow the table editing parameters within SpecLink Cloud is going to help a lot there. If it's a common occurring theme, there may be a simple solution for it. The solution could be different from one type of table to another. Definitely encourage users to reach out to support and see if they can assist you with the resolution for that table type to have a stable import with the tables.
Excellent. Thank you. That's a great answer. The results from the poll here are formatting is a little more than half the viewers today are one of their biggest challenges is formatting after import, and obviously prepping before. So we're really going to see the bulk of it is just the overall understanding of what do I got to do once I patch it through to SpecLink, and what's it look like there. So I think we're on that path here, sharing with everyone today.
Yeah, and I will say, like, I'm a little surprised to see the formatting after import to be the main element. Now, of course, if you format before importing, then you end up having less formatting to do in SpecLink Cloud, but we will absolutely get to get to a couple of tricks and things that I use and Matt uses once we actually get everything imported. The next element, now this is going back to the question that was asked earlier, is global terms and how to set those up. So setting up global terms, so we can see we've got our global terms in here, and now these are things that we can drag directly into a section. So I come over here and I can say I want to make sure my project ID is in this spot, so I can drag in the project ID, and there's our project ID. Now, if I change that, it'll automatically update. I love global terms. It's the easiest way to update an entire project at once for a lot of simple things. Now, in the most recent release, if we click Edit Global Term here, we have a new column called Import Marker. So now this is what, during an import, this is what will get looked for to bring in that global term properly. Now, the way that you set it up is using, now I don't know what the proper phrase is anymore for setting up of whether I should be saying the pound sign or if I should just be saying hashtag since it's more popular, but you're using those symbols. So coming down here, we can say
Hashtag.
Yeah, we'll go hashtag.
Yeah,
So
hashtag's way
here,
cooler, Alex. Do that. Yep.
You can see that I've got owner spec term, project name, and project location state. So these are all global terms that I want to set up. So what I would do is I would go check this list right here and find out what it's going to be. So for example, owner spec term of the value owner is an O. So what I'll come in here to do, I'll say O. So what I'll do, hashtag O, hashtag, and then what you can actually do as well, see, this is all you need for the import, but what you can do just to make sure that everything stays organized and that you remember, oh wait, why is there an O with hashtags there? Is to put the global term after it. So as a reminder in your Word document where it is, and after import, you'll be able to see the actual global term in its place if there's no value already assigned.
Hey,
so I can
Alex,
just do that through it. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
I just want to point one thing out. There's only about 5 global terms where you can do simply the hashtag, letter, hashtag, and nothing else. For the remainder,
you're right.
Yeah, the remainder of the global terms do need how you've got it set up there with the hashtag, with the letter, and then the actual value followed by another hashtag.
Okay, so ignore my first part. Listen to Matt. He knows better.
There's a couple of comments.
There we go.
Oh, sir, is now a good time?
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like I'm just sticking my nose in everywhere.
Global terms. You get your hashtags, you get the text next to it, you're good to go.
Excellent.
There we go.
There's a few comments and questions that have come in, and I'm paraphrasing a bunch of them, but around PDFs or images or emojis that are in the Word file when it gets imported. So it's not going to bring over any graphics with it, correct?
It will bring in images. Our guide does have a limit as to what the file size and actual physical size of the image should be. And
Okay.
There's a couple of supported types, the most common being JPEG and I believe PNG files. But those, there you go. Those are the stats. If your image in your Word document falls within those guidelines, it will import, and that is new with this release.
Okay, so if you're watching and you're not having luck importing it, it might be file size, resolution. It could be a few of those things that are under that. So what is it saying? 50 by 50 pixels is the minimum. Maximum 600 by 600 pixels. Maximum image size is 1 megabyte. So that might be where I know sometimes those images get sneaky big. And then JPEG, PNG, or GIF, whatever we want to call it. That is, that's there. So pretty common requirements. Just I bet it would be the size that's maybe throwing people
right. Now, if there is a size issue, the import process is limited to 1 megabyte, but the overall images that you can bring into SpecLink Cloud have some different requirements. Like there's additional file types that can be accepted. There's additional, I think, a slightly bigger size that can be accepted. There's more about that right here in the Working with Images article. So you can always bring in a slightly larger image afterwards. I think that's pretty much all of the things here that we need to, oh, there is one more, and it's the notes. So this is the way we see notes set up a lot. It's just, hey, note, and putting it here. This is using the normal text. I can just remove the notes there. Ooh. And, keep pressing the wrong button. Now, if I highlight this, I can just apply the style that is literally just called note and that will now get recognized as a note. So using our styles menu, highlight what you want to be a note, apply the note style, and it will get imported properly. Well, now that we've done all of this, I think it's actually time that we bring this thing in.
Yeah, and just let's keep an eye on the time, guys, because we've got 9 minutes left here, so this has flown by today.
Yeah, that's why.
Even though
I saw the
I
time
needed,
too. I said, oh, it's time to bring this in.
maybe I shouldn't have taken 30 minutes to figure out how to share my screen at the beginning of the spec talk. Maybe this is part of my problem now.
So here we go, traffic control. And now once again, just to reiterate what we were talking about earlier, I can always put a 0.1 after the section ID as well. And that makes it a different section in case you want to bring in multiple of the same thing. Import in progress. Open it up. Loading. That's the favorite part of doing live demos, is when your internet's doing the stream and the recording and the video and the thing you're trying to share is a little slower. But here we go. So you can see our traffic control got brought in. Here's exactly where we put the reference standards. All our reference standards were recognized. We can come down here now to reiterate. So this was a single select option, so I can pick only red, yellow, or green because I didn't put an and or an or in there. But directly underneath, this did have an and, so I can say red and yellow and green. Or up here, our green or go is green or go. So you can see how that's all set up, and we can see our project note here. And then the one that I adjusted is right here. Project note, be sure to adjust the global terms. And we did. We added those hashtags and they got brought in perfectly. So all of this, all just directly from the Word document itself.
Exactly. And we do have one item that was asked earlier that we promised we would show. I can show that real quickly. It's a real quick hitter, but it's super powerful.
All right. And then Fulton, maybe you can be ready to answer an importing tables question after that. So
okay.
We're going to drag this right to the finish line.
All right, here you go. In SpecLink, and it doesn't matter if it's a master paragraph, user paragraph, user added section, master section, it does not matter. Let's say if you, after import, you have a choice and you realize it's a multiple select and you really meant it to be single select. You can right click, edit choice, and you can change it to a single select type, save the edits, and now it's a single select type. And conversely, if you have a single select and you wanted it to be multiple select, you just reverse the process,
cool,
save the edits, and there you go. And Alex had a really good sample with the and or the or. Maybe you wanted this to be an or type, just edit the choice, change it to or, and there you go. So if you didn't quite set it up in Word properly, you import it and everything looks great except a couple of choices because it's a wrong type. You can go ahead and edit it here. And like I said, you can do that in any choice that you see, master or user added.
That's fantastic. There's a couple of questions that have come in about editing tables once they're in SpecLink, or the best way to get a table in their spec. Is it to bring it over from Word? Is it to, what's the best advice we got here in 90 seconds or less? No rush, no pressure.
Try importing it with the Word document and see if it works. That's the fastest way to go. If that does not work, then try some of the table editing tools that we do have within the software to see if it will let you make any adjustments as far as you got these little bit of editing tools that pop up. This is what you have available in tables. So you can try editing within these and then see if you can get the table to behave the way you want it to, or if you have to go ahead and say, fine, I'll just create it from scratch in SpecLink Cloud and send in a message to SpecLink to say, please give me some more table editing options. And we will definitely take in field and consider all enhancement requests.
So,
hey, Matt, if you don't mind me jumping in, I think with schedules, if we could also just plug in the document library as a workaround, which is people can upload their schedules and can also attach it via the document library, I think that would be a great workaround as well, just to keep folks moving.
That is true. So you can, if you have a document that's got a complex table and it's not behaving in the Word document, you can always save it as a PDF, upload it to your document library. Once you've got it in there, you can attach that PDF to any section or subfolder that you want to. And I see I'm spinning wheels here, so it's not showing my document library yet, but you could do that. You could save it as a PDF, upload it here, and then in any project that you want to go into. Looks like I'm having some streaming issues too. But as I mentioned, you can then attach that PDF file to a section or a subfolder. So for the user who asked about the hardware set, you could always attach it to the hardware section in SpecLink Cloud, and that way you retain the look of how it was sent to you.
I feel like we need to have a soundboard, Dory, where I can like hit a little siren or something. Because I was thinking to myself of just yelling out new feature alert, because this is something that just came out in the most recent release is the document library. So just like a little siren button.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of buttons that we could add to this this show to make it go
need to have
a little different. Guys, I just want to thank you guys for joining us today and answering. I love how well attended this episode was, because it just goes to show that like so many things are necessary to understand this, but it was so well attended. The questions were probably some of the best that I've ever seen. Like they're coming in so fast and furious. I absolutely love it. If anybody wants to reach out to Matt or Alex, their email addresses are on the screen. Thank you for the love and the applause, guys. I know our guests today did fantastic. They always do. Matt and Alex can be reached with their email addresses on the screen there. The next step is this recording will be uploaded usually within about 24 hours. So if you wanted to relive this or kind of go back and maybe pause and, you know, watch again and slow it down a little bit so you can keep track, you've got 24 hours notice, and then it should be up and ready for you to enjoy. Another reminder, guys, I would love to meet all of you guys. So if you're going to be at CSI in a couple of weeks, please stop me. Don't scare me, but tap me on the shoulder or come say hi or let's have a conversation. I will have a camera. I'll probably be asking you guys to do interviews and have chats with everybody. But that leads me to our next SpecTalk. I couldn't be more excited about this. We are doing it live from CSI. This is going to be a completely different format. It is going to be putting the focus on spec writers. So we're going to be inviting you guys to stop by our tech booth, where we'll have an interview station set up. I'm going to have well-crafted interview questions for you. I think you're going to be able to pick them from a deck. So I'm going to make these like random style interviews where you could tune in, see how your peers are handling any career questions or any tech questions or just spec fun related questions in general. So our next SpecTalk is going to be live from Cleveland. And just note, it's going to be on the Thursday. So it's not the typical Wednesday, Thursday at 11 a.m. So that's right after Nish's presentation, right after my presentation. So get a coffee and come join us at the booth, because that is going to be a ton of fun.
Hey,
guys,
Dory.
that's what we have for you today. Yes, Nish.
Yeah, sorry for jumping in. I just wanted to thank everyone who's been using the import feature. Just some quick stats that I wanted to throw out there just for anybody who's here. Again, ever since import enhancement went live back in May, it's been mind-boggling the amount of documents that we have processed. We have never done this volume of documents, but across 1,200 customers as of yesterday, we have almost processed upwards of 95,000 files. And that roughly translates to more than 1 million pages of spec content that have been bought in. So I really appreciate everybody who's bought that volume of content in. It's been mind-boggling. And we would love for you to sort of keep doing that. So thanks again for your trust in SpecLink. And I'm probably looking forward to breaking the next 1 million much quicker. And really appreciate that. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Leo, I see your comment. Thank you so much. That just made me laugh. So next SpecTalk, I hope to see you guys at CSI. I think it'll be great. And if you're not able to be at CSI, at least tune in and see what kind of fun we've got up our sleeves. We're going to have a great time. So Alex, and Matt, thank you guys so much for another wonderful episode. I'm grateful for all you guys always. I'm grateful for all the viewers that tune in every couple of weeks, and we will see you in Cleveland. Okay?
Thanks, everybody.
I'm going to be looking for you guys. I'll see you there. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.